All right, this is going to be fun, guys. We are doing a little duo show here, a little double podcast live show here. We're another Jags podcast, and we're here with one and only UCF Jaguar.
What is up, man?
How's it going, man?
I'm good, dude. Happy to be on. Happy to talk about some Jaguars, and just super hyped about tomorrow's game. I'm just so happy preseason is done.
What's it like to be in Jacksonville?
Yeah, Duval County.
I have been to Jacksonville since the draft, and the draft was an awesome time. I was at the stadium, so I got to kind of do a little live reaction and being at Daly's place. I mean, it was super awesome, and hopefully I get excited today or tomorrow, I should say.
Yeah, well, so just tell us a little bit, for those of us, the people watching on our channel know who you are, but just tell us a little bit about you. How did you get into the Jags? How did you start your YouTube channel? All that.
Well, I started doing it the month after I graduated college. It's because I knew it was something I wanted to do, but being that I was going for an accounting degree and I was working, about 24 hours a week while doing that, so I didn't really have the time for it. And then when I graduated and I had a lot more free time on my hands, and then one day, Saturday or something, I was like, maybe I should just start my channel. So I started doing videos. The very first video I did was on Doug Marrone. The tiring of Doug Marrone. So it kind of dates all the way back then, and it was awesome the first year doing it in 2017, just being good and being able to do Jaguars playoff preview videos. I mean, it was freaking awesome. So I'm just hoping we do the same thing this year.
Yeah, I mean, I do too for sure. You mentioned you were in Jacksonville for the draft. Just real quick, how do you feeling about Josh Allen so far?
Dude, Josh Allen, I'm so hyped for him. I mean, when I watched his college film, I did see someone that was crazy athletic and whatnot, but I was like, this guy might have to develop some pass moves just because it seemed like everything he was doing was just kind of on the outside, doing, whether it be going out and bending the edge or just flat out being fast in a tackle. But just seeing him come out here and just manhandle people like he did against the Dolphins, I mean, it gets me really excited. But a lot of times with these first round picks, I always try to temper my excitement and kind of prepare for the worst. It's because really, I mean, in the last decade, it seems like the only first-round pick that's really panned out to be good has been Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
And any one of us could have made that pick, so it's not
true.
It's not like it's big kudos to Dave Caldwell for finding this guy.
Yeah.
But it's I'm excited for Josh Allen, and I mean I don't know how they're gonna block Calais Campbell, Yannick Ngakoue, and Josh Allen all together.
I don't think you can.
Yeah, we were talking about that last week. We were like, man, how you can't double team everybody, and so that's just going to be a nasty front coming at the Chiefs, and that kind of transitions us into the Chiefs game. What are you expecting out of that game? What do you see happening?
I mean, with this game, it's a lot's going to have to rely on our offense because I think what the Chiefs offense is going to try to do to our defense is just tire us the hell out. Because I think they're going to run a lot of lateral stuff. In the NFL a lot now, they kind of drop back and then they do that little, it's like a reverse, but they do kind of pop up to that.
Yeah.
I have a feeling they're going to do that a lot with their speedy guys and just try to run us laterally a lot and just and hope that they can kind of 3-and-out our offense because the offense has to keep stuff going, just so, they're not going to make the defense hang out on the field, Patrick Mahomes, and that offense the whole time. So, I mean,
just to give him some rest.
I feel like Pittsburgh tried to do that against us, though. I feel like they got too cute and went east and west a little bit too much, and not too successful. I think we're too fast for that, honestly.
Yeah, and I'm with that Steelers game. That was we matched up really well against those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we saw in 2017 where we swept them, and really our only good game of at the tail end of the 2018 season, besides our wins, but was the Steelers. I mean, we would have beat the Steelers if it wasn't for Blake Bortles. And then also, when it comes to the Chiefs game, last year Bortles had 5 turnovers.
Yep.
The defense was hanging on. It was 10-0 or 10-13 right at the 2-minute warning of the first half. And really after that was when all the turnovers started happening, where Bortles threw that one nasty pick 6 to Chris Jones. And then he threw it off AJ Cann's helmet, and next thing you know, we're down 20-0, and we never gained any momentum after that.
DJ Hayden playing instead of Patman is such a huge deal.
Yeah.
He got torched against Dallas and Houston and the
Chiefs
last year so bad.
Yeah,
so
it's going to help to have him. Yeah. I remember on the first offensive play that the Chiefs ran, They were in like shotgun. They had 2 backs. They ran the entire formation left, and they ran Tyreek Hill on like a reverse sweep and just pitched it to him, and he took it off for like 30.
Yeah.
Got called for holding, but it was like on that play I was like, this is gonna be a long day. Like this is gonna be a long day of us chasing around Tyreek Hill. And unfortunately, he's going to be back.
And I went to I was in Kansas City for that game.
Oh, man.
I traveled out there, and I was so pumped. I was over there with the Sports Fury, and we were 3-1 then. It was like the marquee AFC matchup of the weekend. And then we just go out there and start our 7-game losing streak.
Yeah.
You know, spinning out to like 2-10 to finish the year. And it was not fun. But we are healthier now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one, even though we are on our 3rd left tackle all of a sudden. But I mean, that's one thing about sitting out our guys was so we could have a clean injury chart like we do. But at the same time, I mean, we saw last Thursday night's game, like those 2 teams between the Packers and Bears, a lot of those guys, they didn't play their starters.
Yeah.
And they look sloppy. And I worry that not necessarily for our defense, but our offense. I mean, like we weren't all that smooth against Miami at all.
No.
I mean, we took a couple. I think we went 2-3 and outs to start the game, and then I mean we had that good drive on the 3rd drive, and it's like, all right, we're done. That's all you're gonna see out of the starters.
Do you think that benefits us more?
I don't think it does.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing it benefits is that you're not going to get injured. Like if you're taking starter reps away in the game, and I guess we don't know what goes on at practice, how much they're supplementing for that for actually stuff in practice. But I mean, you're going against the same people in practice as opposed to going up against another team's guys, and it's also 100% full speed. It's not tag them and you're down. And I just don't know. I mean, I don't know well enough because I haven't played in the league. Like how much you'd have to kind of ask an actual player their true response, and you're not going to get that until they stop playing. So I mean, I don't know. I think it might hurt.
I think we match up decent with them only because like the Chiefs I think are top 5 offense. I think the Jags are top 5 defense.
Yep.
And then the Chiefs defense I think is like bottom 10, and I think Jags offense potentially could be bottom 10. So I think like on paper, I know it doesn't work that way, but on paper you're kind of looking at teams' skill sets that are similar just on different sides of the ball. Because I mean I think our defense can play with anybody.
Yeah.
I mean I'm excited to see Jalen Ramsey hang with Tyreek Hill. I'm excited to see Miles Jack covering Travis Kelce. I mean, there's some good matchups. But I think
how often do you think we'll see that Sunday, Miles on Kelce?
Well, I think the Chiefs will game plan to get Kelce out on like Jared Wilson, or I think they'll try to split him out to get that matchup. But I think the biggest matchup concern, and I want to get your take on this, is and then really this is a question for Patrick Jackson, who we love as a fan. He says glad to catch a live show, because he's over across the pond. And he says, are you guys concerned about the left tackle situation?
I mean, I've got to be a little bit concerned because, I mean, Will Richardson doesn't have any snaps there. I mean, he played, his whole college career on the right side of the line. And I read that he's only played, like, left tackle in college on a knee down, and he played, like, a little bit in high school. So, I mean, all of a sudden you're going to be a left tackle in the NFL when you've never played a game before? I'd be a little worried.
Especially going up against Frank Clark, who's a really, really good defensive end. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's not only has he never taken a snap at left tackle in the NFL, he's never taken a snap at right tackle in the NFL. Like, he's never really played. And now we're going to throw him to the Wolves. I'm surprised we didn't re-sign Josh Wells.
Yeah, he's out there. I saw he was going to work out with the Bucks, but I mean, he's been with the team for a while. I mean, granted, when you look at a situation like it's not like he's playing in the same system as he did last year. Yeah. You got to bring him off his coordinator in there, so it's not like you can say, oh, he knows the system. I mean, he knows it just as well as anybody else out there. But I mean, you couldn't really rely on him. We gave him a starting spot after Cam went down, and the guy lasted like a week or two.
Yeah. I think he lasted half a game.
Yeah.
And then what about I remember like Josh Robinson? He played a little left tackle. I mean, I know he was. I mean, he had like one good play. I think he played a little against the Chiefs last year, actually. Maybe it was.
Wells got hurt about like 40 snaps into the Chiefs or the Dallas game. I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah, I think Robinson did come in. But anyways, I think we all are concerned at that situation and that position. But hopefully, if we take a majority of our snaps out of shotgun, Foles gets the ball out of his hand quick, does some quick hitters, hits these guys, then I think there's a chance that we could move the ball and keep the defense fresh a little bit.
Yeah.
But is the defense going to have to score to win the game?
I don't think so. I think the main thing is we just can't turn a ball over. You know what I mean? I mean, like, we can't turn the ball over and give Patrick Mahomes. Because last year, first of all, we spotted the Chiefs 7 points off a pick six.
Yeah.
And then we turned the ball over 4 other times.
Yeah.
So
was there an off-the-foot interception against the Chiefs last year?
it was an off the helmet
I know
on
there was
AJ
that. I
Cam.
thought there was an off someone's foot last year as well.
I don't think there was just a bunch of just overthrows and just letting the ball sail.
Yeah, it just, like you said, I mean, you looked up in the first half and it was 20-0.
And Mahomes didn't play well at all.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, Blake was 33 for 61.
Yeah, 61. That's a sweet spot.
One thing we have not talked about, we played Kareem Hunt last year. I think that's a huge
That's
difference.
true. Kareem Hunt being
Yeah,
It's a
gone.
completely different
Yeah, because
offense.
their run game once Kareem Hunt left, like it
Yeah.
did
Like Damian Williams played
go
well
down
at
a little
points,
bit.
but
Yeah, but it was nothing like Kareem Hunt. I mean, their run game kind of went away in a little bit.
Patrick Mahomes was 22 for 38, 313 yards and 2 interceptions.
69 passer rating, I believe.
Yeah, 0 touchdowns.
And that was his third lowest completion percentage in the whole season.
Yeah.
So
But like I said, like he didn't need to. Like you look up at the scoreboard in the first half and it's 20-0. So you're just like, okay, we're gonna just kill the clock for the rest of the game. And in a game like that, I don't think you can really look at stats and be fair about it because it's like they didn't have to. They didn't
Yeah.
really have to try. But the defense did hold well.
Yeah.
I do want to give a quick shout out to everyone on the live stream right now. We got 52 people watching. So I've left another Jags podcast there, channel link right down below. So definitely go subscribe them up, man. They're starting out their YouTube channel. Do a lot of good different podcasts, and they do pretty much all their stuff live. So and they're definitely very interactive. So definitely go subscribe to these guys. But what do you guys think of the whole like Antonio Brown situation?
Oh my gosh. I've seen it called a circus like everywhere, and that's really the best word for it. It's a circus. Like the guy's a clown, and he's a great receiver, but like what are you doing? Like
I just came across a pretty funny tweet. Mike Garafolo said on NFL Network that the Raiders tried to get Keelan Doss back today, and the Jaguars upped his salary to the rookie minimum to keep him on the practice squad. So nice.
We should just promote him, man.
Yeah.
Get him on the roster. I mean, we've been kind of messing up with because I mean, a couple years ago, who do we have that? We had that big old dude, I think from like Iowa State.
Alan Lazard. That went to the
Lazard.
Yeah,
Packers.
Lazard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
he goes on a walk. So then
You know.
even with the Brian Body Calhoun,
Yeah.
like he went onto the
Yeah.
he went onto the Browns and had a pretty good.
Yeah.
And then now he's on the
We
Texans.
know what
And,
happened to Brandon Marshall as well.
Brandon Marshall, yeah.
and we let Alex Magoo go this year, who like. I mean, he was the only person that was providing any kind of spark for our offense, And, like, I think he could be a guy where, you see Taysom Hill out there. You see, I think they're even doing it with Trace McSorley, but try to turn him into a special temer
Yeah.
to kind of save a roster spot because he's athletic enough. I mean, he's a big dude.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, I would have tried to do something like that with him. But then because if Foles goes down, I don't trust that Gardner can lead the team. But at the same time, I wouldn't necessarily trust Magoo either, but he can put in a lot of RPO packages and try to keep the ball on the ground a little bit.
Yeah.
I think he can get by for a week or two. I don't know it because it was looking like I know Gardner Minshew was this great run dual threat quarterback in college, but he was looking slow out there for the Jaguars. He wasn't looking like he was all that mobile. So I mean
They don't play a lot of defense in the Pac-10, so
yeah.
Pac-12.
ooh.
Yeah, Pac-12.
They really don't. What more than him being slow, like physically, it was like his going through his progressions.
Yeah.
Is what concerned me. It was like, dude, he's making one read, and if it's not there, he's tucking it, or he's
That's
taking
the
a
offense
sack.
he played in, though.
Yeah, I know. So, but Magoo, Tanner Lee, Gardner Minshew, they're all 6th, 7th round guys. Like, why are we prioritizing Gardner Minshew over Magoo when clearly Magoo is the better quarterback? But like Marone said, they're evaluating in practice, so they must see things in practice that show them something that they don't show in the game. Who's the right tackle? That's absolutely awful.
Ogwehi?
Who's the one that just got dogs?
I know what you're talking about. He was the 61
Yeah,
Wester.
Wester.
Yeah, like
God, he was awful. Oh my God.
It was we were watching it and like it turned into the Leonard Wester show because of how bad he was. We were sitting there like
Consecutive
watching
plays after plays
Just
after plays.
he was either getting beat or
Holding
holding
every time.
every single play. If that guy can make the team, then obviously they're not evaluating off of game film. They're evaluating off of practice. So my hope is that maybe Gardner Minshew has shown them something in practice that he hasn't been able to show in preseason because of the people around him.
I mean, the Jaguars, they've always prioritized like draft picks. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like I mean, last year they kept Tanner Lee around, and they're always kind of keeping around their 6th, 7th round picks. It seems like this year, we kept all of our draft picks, but like I don't know. I just don't like what the whole quarterback thing. How we're keeping around guys that I don't think really were the best quarterbacks around the preseason.
Do you think it's I know Dave Caldwell comes from the Bill Polian tree, and they always said under Peyton Manning, why would you give the backup quarterback snaps? Because if Peyton goes down, you're screwed. Do you think it's in that philosophy kind of thinking, or?
I don't even know. Like, I mean, it seems like it's probably that way.
If Foles goes down, I mean, I think we're probably screwed. So.
I mean, like even a couple weeks ago, like Chad Henne went down for the Chiefs, and they go and sign like Matt Moore. Like, I'd probably feel more comfortable with Matt Moore than what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's guys out there, and I know I've kind of thought about like Sam Bradford, but you're probably gonna have to spend give him a little bit of money. So I don't know.
You could probably get him for $1 million.
No.
But with
I
think I don't know, because just with how much earnings that he's made, and I think for him he'd have to look at what the offensive line situation is, because that dude's made out of glass.
That's true. He's not going to last very long if he's hitting the ground a lot.
Sports Fury says, "Do y'all want AB?" I don't think so.
I was going to ask you, in what circumstance would have to happen for you to be comfortable with us bringing Antonio Brown?
The only way I'd feel comfortable is if we have like a really tight locker room. Like, I don't trust him around like the only locker room I really trust him in is the Patriots, because I don't think he'll get in the Patriots locker room and create crazy distraction and like take over the locker room like he did with Oakland. And I mean, the Jags aren't at the point where I feel like the locker room is that steady enough to bring in a guy like Antonio Brown.
I feel like the Raiders have a lot of leadership in their locker room, though.
Dude, they got guys like Vontaze Burfict.
Yeah.
They got guys left and right.
Yeah,
They're just
Richie Incognito.
Richie Incognito.
Yeah,
that's the guy.
I was watching Hard Knocks, and I was like, this guy's around. Like, it was funny because he seems like this happy-go-lucky guy.
Nope, just super racist and
Yeah.
bullies people.
And I remember one thing, like, people were like fighting on the field. He's like, and Connie's just back there not getting into it. He's like, come on, what do they think's gonna happen out of this? I'm like, you went into a gym and like thrown weights all around the area and like all this crazy
the funeral
shit.
home thing. He wanted like somebody's head at a funeral.
Yeah.
His dad's head.
Like, what? Like, what are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, he threatened like a funeral staff because he wanted his father's head. So he's a nutcase.
Yeah,
But like, it was so funny hearing, because Antonio Brown released a video last night, and it was like John Gruden calling him, and it's like, what the hell's going on with you, man? Like, and then later on, he's like, do you really want to be a Raider? And then Antonio Brown's like, I don't know, like, I feel like you guys don't want me to be a Raider. I'm sitting here like, wait, what's going on with him right now? Like, I know about the whole frostbitten feet thing, and then he was out because of that. But I think they're good back. I know he was complaining about his helmet, but I think he finally found a helmet. So like, what is he doing right now? Like, what's his reason for not showing up?
Well, I mean, so them taking the guaranteed money away, maybe. I mean, these guys are really prideful, and he seems like the type of guy. I mean, how much money was taken away in that guarantee? Like $30 million? Wasn't that something crazy like that? I mean, that would piss me off.
Yeah, because he hadn't how much guaranteed money.
Yeah, and so I mean, you take away $30 million of someone's guaranteed money, like they're just gonna piss them off. like, and these guys have a lot of pride, and so I could totally see that being the reason why he's like, you know what, just release me. Like, but who's gonna pick him up? Like you said, the Patriots can absorb a circus. I mean, they absorbed Tebow, they've absorbed guys. Who was the DN? They absorbed that was always in trouble.
Michael Bennett.
Michael Bennett, was that who it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, it's just
and they had like Brandon Spikes over there.
Yeah,
Aaron Hernandez. They've had all kinds of guys.
They can absorb him, but like you said, outside of them,
like I think the Chiefs could. I mean, it's not.
God, I hope not.
I mean, where would he play? I mean, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins. Does Sammy Watkins move to the slot?
Well, I just mean he could fit inside of that
Their
locker room.
system?
I think,
Yeah.
and like their system, and like I don't think like he's gonna go there and all of a sudden destroy the team. And like even like the Steelers had a good situation because Tomlin has pretty good control over the team.
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger does as well, but obviously, I mean, just looking at it now, like they dealt with him for that long without even really seeing. With the worst thing coming out was like an Instagram live video.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's
Like
true.
over here, like Antonio Brown's just down in Florida during training camp practices, and it's just such a weird situation.
I think it's safe to say that he would not do well here, though, in this locker room with Doug Marrone, who apparently doesn't care at all what the players do and lets players destroy a locker room in dance parties.
God.
That was so weird.
It was one chair. I think they tore the whole place apart.
That was such a weird video. And the only thing I really didn't like is it seemed like they were smacking the logo.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. I'm
Yeah.
like, what is this?
Like I've been
I
hyped.
think that's a little PC. I think we're looking for stuff to be offended by that.
No, it's no one's offended. It's just like odd.
No, but it was
Yeah.
that and the fact that of any player to be standing on a chair, it's a guy on a pup because
Yeah,
of an
it's on
ACL. Like, is it something like
that
Daniels
was the
just like
weirdest part.
It's like, dude, like, yeah. But who was it? Who was it that was talking about the training staff? And
It was Trent Williams.
Trent Williams. Like,
They're notoriously bad.
there's
up there,
another
though.
guy, right? Who was it? Philip Heileman. This is what I want to get your take on this. So I'm glad we hit this in the first segment. Philip Heileman said that we should explore trading Yannick Ngakoue for Trent Williams. Give us your thoughts on that.
I mean, I wouldn't do it. I mean, I saw it out there, but I mean, unless you're actually planning on paying Trent Williams, then I wouldn't. I mean, I just with us in the kind of a win now situation. I mean, I'd be more so just going to. I think Yannick Ngakoue is more valuable than
What
Trent
about
Williams
picks?
would
Would
be.
you trade picks for Trent Williams at all?
I don't like trading draft picks. I
Yeah.
like draft picks,
He's
and
good.
and the thing is, like, you'll trade it away, and then you're put in a situation where they're gonna have a lot of leverage over you because you're able to. Because just like, I mean, if you look at the Laramie Tunsil thing, it would probably be taken about the same thing as the Laramie Tunsil. And when you're trading away two first round picks, then all of a sudden they've got so much leverage over you because you kind of leverage your future, and they can use that to kind of get a big contract.
And you do say that we are win now. I mean, with Trent Williams, I mean that's a really good offensive line right there.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against it if that happened.
No,
Then,
I'm not saying like 2 firsts, but like what about a second and a fourth or something like that?
oh, I would do it for that.
Okay.
Oh, definitely. But I think it's more in the range of like a 2 first round
Okay.
pick trade.
Maybe.
I mean, how are you going to re-sign a guy that's going to demand? He's going to be top paid
It's
off.
a rental. It's 1 year rental. Cam Robinson, are you?
I don't want to trade a second round pick for 1 year.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, if I'm
We've
trading,
seen-
then I've got to know that I'm going to be re-signing him.
Yeah, exactly.
We've seen Seattle do it. They just did it for Clowney. They did it for Sheldon Richardson a few years ago.
Yeah, but they're in a different position than we are.
How
Like,
so?
they're not capped out on money.
They're not.
Yeah, they
They're
just
about
paid
the same
Russell
area as ours.
Wilson.
Yeah,
so
they're
their
and Bobby
quarterback.
Wagner.
They have a quarterback for the future. Our quarterback. I mean, we hope he's of the future, but in reality, he's on a 2-year deal as far as the dead cap. So
Doesn't that make even more sense to trade for him then?
no, because I think that when you are looking at a team that has all these, like we still have to re-sign Jalen Ramsey. We just signed Miles Jack. We don't know the future of Telvin Smith.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of not in a position where we can go out and get these free
I'm
agents.
not. We cut Darius. That's $20 million right there. I'm not that worried about the cap.
Yeah, but the thing is though with me, like I want to, because right now I gotta figure out how to re-sign our own guys in house, and I think I look at the left tackle and he's got 2 more years at including this year, and then the right tackle they've got 4 years, and unless like you bring in a guy and like if we bring in Trent Williams and say trade a 2nd and 4th round pick for him and don't re-sign him, then like if we don't win a Super Bowl, then it's a bad trade, and and I don't know, I just look at it as a situation where I just don't want to, like, really mortgage the future, and really if we don't have any money or plans to re-sign him, and I don't think that we're a left tackle away from being like great. Like I'm more worried about the cohesiveness of the pass game. Like, I mean, of course we have Nick Foles. I still have a little bit of questions mark on Nick Foles just because we've never really had a great quarterback in Jacksonville, and with the whole receiving threat, and behind that, the big thing I worry about is just our depth, because our depth is like paper thin.
Not good.
Like we're
Yeah.
so good. Like I think all our starting level
Our
talent is
all-22 is
great,
legit.
but man, like right behind it,
Yeah.
it's worrisome.
Yeah, and even like the guys that are young, like there's hope for them. There's guys like Raquel Armstead. There's hope, but in reality, like Blue is our backup running back. But if we're all being honest with ourselves, by the end of this season, we're all kind of expecting Raquel Armstead to be the backup running back.
Yeah.
And like, how sure are you about him? Like, I'm not
I've
too
seen him
sure.
play like 5 snaps.
Yeah, I mean, like I want him to be good, and he looks like he was good at Temple, but that's not
I
really.
think they're going to ride the Fournette train. I don't think he would be playing.
Well,
that much
yeah,
minutes.
obviously, but we look at other positions at wide receiver. You got D.D. Westbrook, you have Chark, and then outside of that, you're looking at guys like Keelan Cole.
What is Conley on, a 1-year deal or is it a 2?
I think it was a 2-year deal.
Okay.
2 years, $10 million, right? Is that what he was on?
Probably
Or 2 years,
somewhere
7,
around
I think.
there.
2
It
years,
wasn't it wasn't a 1-year deal because I would have remembered that.
No, it was 2 years, 7, I believe, and then because Moncrief, I remember, was a 1-year 10, which is insane. Although he did lead the Jags in receiving last time we played the Chiefs.
It wasn't DJ Chark. I remember DJ Chark had a couple nice.
He had 2 good plays, but as far as like actual yards,
Did he
Moncrief
fumble
had
that game?
6 receptions for 76 yards.
Yeah.
So and then
How many receiving did
Chark had 2 receptions for 68 yards.
Wow.
and like less than 200 yards on a season? So
Yeah.
that's like pretty much his total.
And I think they happened like on the same drive.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you remember it is because it was like on the same drive. And like, oh dang, like DJ Chark's he had that huge big play. I think it was like a back shoulder catch he had, and then he had that nice I think it was a post route, skinny post. But it was a good thing.
There's a couple deep balls. I'm hoping that because that's what Nick Foles likes to do, and I don't know. I just think with this game coming up, I think we're gonna have to open a lot of the run game with the pass game.
Yeah.
Like I would like to come out firing just because. One of their quarterbacks is suspended the first game, and they're really
Claiborne
not.
suspended.
Yeah, Claiborne, and they're really not left with much behind that. And they have Kyle Fuller, but he plays more of the slot. So let's attack the outside and kind of have that and have them on their heels, and then punch them in the mouth with Leonard Fournette. So
I think I read that Yeldon played 78 snaps versus the Chiefs last year.
yeah, because Corey Grant got hurt.
The second play of the game. So I think Fournette's going to be absolutely huge.
Yeldon had 10 carries for 53 yards.
And that's one reason why Bortles had 61 pass attempts
God.
because we had no running backs in there. Because I don't even think Brandon Wiles was active.
2 carries for 6 yards for Brandon
So he
Williams.
was active. But we didn't give him the ball at all.
Did
I
what's his name play that game? The Chiefs, Jamal Charles?
Jamal Charles for us?
No,
Or for
we
them?
acquired him
He
the
played
next
for us.
game for
Okay.
Dallas.
No, they had Damian Williams, Spencer Ware, and Kareem Hunt.
Spencer Ware. I'm surprised we didn't give him a look at all.
He had 1 carry for 0 yards, so I don't think he was. Well, let's just hit this one last question, and we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll just do a second segment, and then we'll probably wrap it up with 2 segments. This question is from Brent Papineau, and he says, does it seem like as Fournette goes, so goes our season? If he has a Pro Bowl year, are the playoffs almost a lock if we stay healthy?
Ooh.
I mean, a lot of that I think is dependent on Reichel Armstead. How good is he going to be?
Can you spell him? Is what you're saying? Like,
I mean, a lot of it's dependent on him because obviously last year once Fournette got hurt, but there was also in conjunction with how our offensive line was slowly getting injured and just that we have no threat in the pass game, so we had to have, we were going up against loaded boxes all the time. But I'd had to see Reichel Armstead. I was actually excited about the Reichel Armstead pick because I went to UCF and he had like 140 yards against UCF this year before getting injured in the third quarter, and I was like, thank God. And then we drafted him oh we got Reichel back, but. I don't know. I think it could hurt us. I think not having Fournette could really hurt us. To be honest with you.
yeah, so I think Brent's spot on. If the season might go as Fournette goes, and every coach and every interview seems to talk about how Fournette is the offense, which is strange because John DiFilippo isn't known for running the ball. But we'll see. Maybe he's changed. Tom Coughlin probably has a way of controlling coordinators better than the Vikings, whoever their GM VP was. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and quick word from our ads and our sponsors, and then we'll be right back with our second segment with UCF Jaguars. So stick around and catch us after this break.
So am I good to be talking in here?
What?
Am I good to be talking on my channel?
You can actually, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, guys, what's up? I'll go answer some questions in the live chat real quick, and also be sure to subscribe to these guys, man. I put their link right down below.
Sorry, guys. First time on the podcast.
This is behind the scenes, guys. But yeah, I put their links down below, guys. So go check them out. They do podcasts all the time. They go live for all their podcasts. I know all of you guys are YouTube people. You can't deny me on that. So and if you're enjoying this, man, definitely drop a like. We got 57 people in here. So I'll go read some of the live chat. What's it called?
Yeah,
Busted says, wait, will Quincy Williams be healthy for tomorrow? Quincy Williams will be playing. And I'm interested to see Quincy Williams because I didn't see him. I haven't been in any training camp, so I haven't seen him at all during a training camp session. And obviously he didn't play in the preseason either, so it'll be really my first time watching him. Christopher says, yes, this is a Homer Jag screen, bro. Duh. Are people talking smack? I get a lot more trolls when I'm actually during the games, because people will be looking for the live stream, and they'll just see 2 idiots with the camera at us with no game, and they're like, screw the Jags. Jags suck.
Imagine your life to go into someone that's channel and just to talk crap about a team.
Oh, looks like we have a Texans fan here.
Nice.
I've got a lot of Texans fans that watch my videos.
Nice.
It's pretty cool because I have a lot of people. One thing I never thought out of YouTube that would happen, because I thought it'd only be Jags fan watching, but I have actually people that watch every single one of my videos that like aren't even Jags fans. Like I have a bunch of Texans fans that watch them all and stuff like that.
Crazy.
But yeah, it's cool.
I actually went on a Texans podcast and they legit think they're going to win the division. Like they believe that they have the best team in the AFC South. Like I know we do too, so I can't really, say anything. But they legit think that they have an improved offensive line. They think their receiving core is going to be elite, and they think Deshaun Watson's literally like the next great thing.
Dude, it's funny because I watch this YouTube channel called Soft Sports, and they do a lot of like live roundtable live streams, and all of them are so down on the Texans because Texans fans hate Bill O'Brien, and I can imagine that because even if you saw like the moves that he made, like he literally looks like a GM in his last year of his job because he's going out and he goes out and trades 2 first-round picks for like Laramie Tunsil and gets Kenny Stills, and they turned over like 10% of their roster.
That's insane.
With Carlos Hyde coming in, and they trade away Clowney for a couple of like Mingo and another kind of crappy defensive player. So it's just wild what they're doing. But Busted Bun said, no, I'm not gonna read that.
Really? Busted? You're not gonna read one from Busted Buns?
He says, "LML, I've been waiting for some facts." I don't know. There's people talking shit in here.
Oh, okay.
It's all good though. I love it. Dude, because we got a whole Jaguar army in here. So whenever we have fans of other teams coming in, it's like, get out of here.
Because I would have thought Busted Buns would have, with that creative username, would have had something more substantial than that. But that's just me.
I wanted to read it. I saw the name. I'm like, that's a good name. Ex-Bama says, do you think Westbrook will finally have his big season? Dude, I picked up Westbrook in like all my fantasy leagues.
Me too.
Because like if you have him in PPR, man, he's being way underdrafted.
Yeah.
10 targets a game.
Yeah. At the pace that he went in the preseason game, he's gonna have 28 receptions this next game.
I'm excited for it, man.
So let's see. Larry says we're gonna smash the Chiefs. Oh, you already know. Larry says Fournette going for over 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a good recipe.
That must be Leonard Fournette's brother.
Leonard?
Probably. Leonard, yeah. It's funny how he chose number 27 over there. Like, usually brothers, they try to have their own identities and don't go after, but hey, he's rocking a 27.
Yeah, exactly.
And, a lot of people, they'll be, twins or brothers and they have, close to the same name. Like, why is one named Leonard and the other one Leonard?
Is he at LSU?
Yeah, he's at LSU.
Don't usually at LSU don't like the number 7 and the beast at
17,
well,
7.
Well, they I think they just is it just number 7 because I know Honey Badger, Fournette, and even DJ Chark was number 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
supposed to be their big playmaker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Excuse
so
me, Dalton, come behind you.
yeah. Bruce Phil says, "What's up, UCF Jaguar? What's going on, man?" Greg says, "We played in Arrowhead last year. This is your Duval." Dude, yeah, I went to that game too. Sucked.
That's true. When we played the Patriots at home, it was the only good game that we had here.
Didn't your brother go to that Chiefs game a few years ago?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the first game of the year where we got blown out?
Yeah.
It was close, I thought.
No.
Yeah.
I think it was a blowout.
We scored a safety after a block punt or something.
Yeah, I think they scored 40, but 40 of one.
Because I think we went up 2-0 after that. And then I was like, yes,
this is our year.
The scariest thing is 2014 we went up 17-0 on the Eagles, and it's like, oh my god.
Oh,
and it was
my
Henny
gosh.
playing imagine when we have
That
Bortles
was,
in there.
That was Hearns. His first 2 catches were touchdowns.
Was that 2014? That
was
ago?
2014,
Golly,
yeah.
that feels like it
Foles
was
played against
yesterday.
us.
Yeah, Foles
That's crazy.
played. And then the next game was the Redskins, and we injure RG3.
Oh god, he
That
was
was-
going off from. Kirk Cousins tore something.
Yeah, because RG3 wasn't playing well.
Oh,
Then
God.
also next thing you know, RG3 gets hurt, and they start popping again.
Oh man, it reminds me of when Mariota got hurt and Blaine Gabbert came in last year.
Vice versa. Gabbert was playing, then he got hurt.
Oh, is that what happened? Oh man, that game was so hot, man.
We were destroying him, and then he got hurt.
Jesse Kelly says Josh Allen gets Rookie of the Year on the defensive side. It'd be nice to get an accolade like that.
Yeah.
It seems like we'd be coming in second place. When Jalen Ramsey was up 4, Joey Bosa finished first,
Yeah.
for Rookie of the Year. Then, in 2017 where Calais Campbell was Defensive Player of the Year, and then Aaron Donald wins it. It's it'd be so cool to actually get that award.
I remember back in 1998 when Fred Taylor got runner-up for defensive offensive.
I think
player
Randy
of the
Moss
year.
was pretty deserving.
Randy Moss was good, but come on, dude. Fred Taylor. Dude, I was so bitter that year. I was so bitter that.
Better 7.
Who do you think's more bitter, you or Fred Taylor?
Probably Fred Taylor.
Fred Taylor's been bitter about life lately,
Oh, God.
which I can't blame him. I mean, he's always, when it comes to Hall of Fame talk, no one talks about him because Tony Baselli isn't in. He was in an era with a lot of really good running backs. I mean, Coughlin always pulled him when they were in scoring position, so his touchdowns were all that great. And then, when it comes to best player in franchise, it's always Tony Baselli. It's never, Fred Taylor.
When
Did
Fred
you,
Taylor's the guy that makes plays.
Did you see the videos Maurice Jones-Drew and Dave Demachek, I think it is, for NFL Network? They were discussing Fred Taylor being number 1 or whatever. MJD said he would have gone him and Fred Taylor 1A and 1B, and then I think he said Tony Baselli and Mark Brunell.
I agree with that.
No, I lied. He said Jimmy Smith too, actually.
Yeah, it's cool. Like Maurice Jones-Drew, I mean, he loves Fred Taylor, and he attributes a lot of what he did. And that's one reason why this year with the Jaguars, because he basically said that, look, I saw Fred Taylor as a pro, so I just copied everything he did. I did exactly what, and I kind of saw that, and I was like, you know what player we should have gotten in the in free agency? I was like, Frank Gore. Like, who better to have inside the building for Fournette to have a guy on like a $1 million deal that they can just, I mean, for Frank Gore, I mean, he's got a Hall of Fame career, and the guy is in his mid-30s for a running back.
And overcame some of the worst injuries you can ever
Yeah,
have.
I mean, he's perfect for his body. I just think with Fournette, I mean, we do have to. I mean, it seems like he's got his mind on right, but if it feels like they probably hired a running back coach that'll be able to fit him well. But I just think that getting someone amongst his peers, an actual in the running back room like a player, I thought that'd be really good for him as opposed to having him as the most really accomplished player in the running back room.
I think I watched one of your videos when you were talking about that, and I was like, that's a great idea. I'd never thought about that, and we should have had someone in there for these young guys to. Well, remember that one year we had all rookies. It was Gus Bradley's first or second year, and we were like, man, this could be really bad, but it could be good. But we're like, man, there's a reason why teams go out and get veterans for a reason. I think we had the youngest team. I think it was 2016 or 2015. We had the youngest team in the NFL, and we were terrible. I mean, it was our 2-win season. It was that's why teams go out and get veterans. It's for a reason. It's not because it's because they can mentor players in the locker room. It's because they can bring professional habits to a team. So I think there's something to be said to get a guy like that.
And not only that, in 2012, not only were we super young, but we were drafting players from South Georgia schools, and all these small schools, and it's we were literally basically fielding a community college team with some with some first round draft picks sprinkled in there.
We were looking at our long snapper the other day. Our long snapper is from an NAIA school.
Yeah. Azura State.
That was a weird cut, Overton.
Yeah, it was. That kind of came out of nowhere.
Was he hurt? Was he? I mean, we kept Carson Tinker around a while when he wasn't, when he was tearing ACLs and stuff, but.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised. I actually, you remember Joe Zelinka when he had long snapper?
I love Joe
I ran
Zelinka.
into Joe Zelinka the other day.
He's a funny dude.
Yeah,
He's a nice
he is,
guy.
man. He is, and it's weird that I don't think I've ever seen a player in the NFL from the NAIA. I can't think of one ever in my life.
Yeah, I couldn't.
So, what was the name of the school he was at?
Azura State.
Azura State in California.
Dude, I have no idea.
Never heard of it.
But that's interesting. All right, so I'm just going to re-intro our podcast because if you're watching UCF's video or you're watching our live video, we also make podcasts. We're actually a podcast. We're another Jags podcast. So welcome back. This is episode 85 on our channel. If you're on our feed, you can find us on Big Cat Country. You can find us on Overtime Network. We're on all kind of feeds. We're here with UCF Jaguar, which is awesome. We can't believe that he's here. You're going to the game tomorrow?
Definitely.
Going to the game? All right,
I wouldn't be in Jacksonville if not, man.
Yeah. What are your tickets looking like?
I actually got hooked up with some free tickets, so they're down I think in section 212 or something like that. Here, I'll give you.
We need to get that YouTube game up for free tickets. That's what we need. Get really awesome so we get free stuff.
Do it, bro. People are
Must
out
be
there.
nice, man.
People willing to give it up.
Yeah, we usually go to the Sky Patio, especially tomorrow because it's going to be so hot. I hope you're hydrating.
I'm hydrating right now.
Because that heat index is going to be brutal.
Yeah, it's luckily I'm a true Floridian, so I don't get overly hot, and usually I'm cool under pressure. But guys, if you guys want to meet up with me, I'll be in section 232, row K. So I don't know if I'll probably be there 30 minutes before the game if anyone wants to stop by, say what's up. But yeah, I'm so fired up, man. Especially after just such a crap preseason.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy for some real football. Even the game the other night, everyone was kind of complaining about it, but I don't mind defensive battles. Like, I like good defense.
If you win, of course.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just talking about, like, I thought it was a good game on Thursday.
Yeah.
Even though the offense was sloppy, I just like good defense.
I'm really excited for Foles.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm a big fan of defensive battles. If you have a good defense, I kind of feel like the Thursday night game was just more of like sloppy offenses, though.
Yeah.
Like when the Bears and the Packers, like Trubisky looked really bad. I don't expect him.
He's not good.
I don't expect him to be that bad all year, though. I mean, first week ones of the NFL season are always weird. Like what happened last year in week one? What didn't like
the Saints lost to the Bucs.
Yeah.
The Browns tie with the Steelers, which is really weird.
It's like random weird stuff happens week one, which is why I'm glad we're playing the Chiefs week one. But I don't think you can put too much stock into like other games, especially nowadays when people are not playing in the preseason.
Yeah, it's also good that we get this game over with. But if you look around the AFC South, there's a lot of tough games. I mean, the Texans play the Saints, the Colts play the Chargers, and Titans play the Browns. So like, I'm glad like there's not like this team's playing like the Bucs this week or we were playing that last place schedule, so we get the benefit of playing the Jets and the Bengals. Which if you look at those divisions, I'm definitely glad we drew those guys.
I saw on the timeline some Buccaneer fans talking about how they think they're going to have a top 10 defense this year, so I thought that was kind of funny.
I don't know, man. It would have helped to draft Derwin James instead of the other guy they got.
I don't understand passing on Josh Allen either. I don't, for a middle linebacker.
They took that linebacker?
Yeah, I do not get that.
It's supposed to be pretty good, though.
But they not even consider Josh Allen, though?
You don't know if they didn't consider him.
The weirdest thing was getting Cleveland Farrell instead of Josh Allen.
He's not going to be that great.
That was the weird thing.
And it was like Mayock in them. It was not like it was like...
He was the third best Clemson defensive lineman last year, and they took him first.
Like, that was, like, Mike Mayock was my favorite NFL, draft insider. I loved how he just dropped one mock draft every year instead of doing mock 8.0.
Yeah.
Because you never really knew what they were really...
So annoying.
He was like, I know Pete Prisco has been on, 1010XL and said, look, I had to come up with different things, so I had to switch some stuff up just to... but with him, that's his true. Board.
I like how he came out with a mock draft, even though he was a GM.
Yeah,
like that was the weird. Yeah, I was like the weirdest thing. I was like, how true is this?
He came out with one before the draft.
No, he came out with like who he thinks will be drafted. Like he came out with not a mock draft. He came out with a ranking of what's it called, the best available or whatever
Big board.
Big board. He came out with the big board.
He did it after the draft.
No, he
right?
did it before.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it was like because he had Kyler Murray number 1, and everyone was like, oh man, he's trying to throw people off, so they drafted Kyler Murray. But he was like one of the first ones to kind of get on the Kyler Murray bandwagon.
Yeah, I know with like San Francisco, like I remember they were picking, and I mocked them to get Quinn and Williams just because. Like, I just worry about the Bosa brothers, like, their injury, like, concerns.
Yeah.
And, like, the guy's already hurt. You know what I mean?
You can't
like,
help getting rolled up on like that, though.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't actually see the injury, but I just heard his injury. I'm like, well,
yeah, you get rolled up on.
Heard that before.
That's my dad on YouTube asks
how
many times does
not.
My dad is not on YouTube. I can promise you that. It says how many times does Mahomes get sacked on Sunday? More or less than Foles?
We'll go first.
No, you guys can go first.
I say Mahomes gets sacked 3 times, less than Foles. Foles gets sacked twice.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna say Foles gets sacked more just because we have. The thing is we have our third left tackle right now, and this Mahomes is such a good quarterback. He's good at getting rid of it. He's good at escaping. His escapability, he's accurate. And like just the Chiefs' offense it's such a good system. I think we have a better D line, but I think that Foles probably gets sacked more.
I've been meaning to ask this. How many pressures do you think Will Richardson gives up? Over under 7 pressures.
Okay. Let me just comment on that. Let me comment on that though. And I think, and here's why I'm not so worried about this, because DeFilippo, like I've watched a lot of Vikings film. I've watched a lot of the preseason film. The dude loves running 2 tight end sets. Loves it. He'll put both on the end line. He'll put 2 on the same side. I think he's going to just put 2 tight ends next to whoever's playing left tackle all game.
Isn't that taking a better player off the field, though? That kind of sucks.
It does, but it gives up the liability with Richardson or whoever it is. And I think they're going to have the running back to that side every play. I think they're going to have 2 tight ends there. they know they have deficiency there, and they're not going to just leave him on an island to get exposed all game. Is what I hope.
Yeah.
So the question is can O'Shaughnessy and
Swaim,
can they help out in the pass blocking department?
I think they're both pretty solid there in that area. Swaim was known for that in Dallas, so.
He's known for that. His PFF gradings weren't that great. Like O'Shaughnessy's grades were better than Swaim's.
All I know is if we double somebody up, they better be blocking them. Like I don't want them. I don't. You know what I mean? I don't want like us to double up Frank Clark and all of a sudden he gets loose and he gets hit on the quarterback. Just,
Swims through two guys.
Will Richardson, he's got such a big body and stuff, but I think he plays with a really high pad level. Like he needs to bend his knees a little bit more, and I don't know. It's just he doesn't. I feel like he's got the tools to be there, but he's just got a lot to work on, like technique wise.
I agree 100%. I watched a lot of him at NC State, and it seems like he never uses his hands. It seems like he kind of like leans.
He's like leaning on people. Yeah.
He doesn't. And I was
How
like,
do you explain?
Ooh.
And he was the highest rated PFF right tackle of all time. He gave up the fewest pressures they've ever recorded for a tackle. I think it was less than 10. How does that
But
happen?
wasn't the right guard also drafted in like the third round?
The center was pretty solid.
Yeah, and so I mean they had a couple guys on that line that were pretty good.
Still,
it wasn't just him.
to give up like 10, less than 10.
I mean, they play in the ACC. I mean, who's rushing?
A lot of good pass rushers.
Just kidding.
I'll be honest, I didn't watch too much of him in like college, but I just know like from watching him, mainly just this preseason, I'm just watching him, and I don't know, like he seemed a little bit slow on his pulls too, and I just really the whole entire offensive line that we've been putting out there has just been so disappointing. And like he wasn't even, I mean, he was one of the best of like, when you see Wester out there getting worked on. And even like Ogbuehi, I saw one play where a dude was rushing the quarterback and this dude trips. And then he's on the ground and he goes and like sacks the quarterback or gets like or holds him up. I'm like this guy's on the ground.
Easiest block ever.
He tripped and he was on the ground and they beat him. I'm like, what is going on?
So that's a guy that like I could block on the ground, crawling.
Yeah, like I was like, what are you doing, Ogbuehi? But I don't know. Even we are on our third left tackle right now, but I don't even know how much more comfortable I'd feel with like Cam Robinson or Ogbuehi right now, just because Cam's been dealing with his knee stuff and he's had like no practice.
Yeah. And like in the videos we see, it looks kind of sketchy.
And I didn't even think he was all that great in his rookie year.
Cam?
Yeah, I agree. He looked like a second round left tackle. I mean, that's what he looked like to me. And we wanted to make him like as this steal that we got in the second round that we traded up for, but in reality, he looked like a second round left tackle. And in reality,
compared to his draft class, he's been pretty solid. I mean, Garrett Bowles has been trash. Led the NFL in penalties last year for offensive tackle.
Yeah, compared to the tackles that came out last year, though, like
they were okay. He came out last year. It was
Colton Miller. I mean,
that was 2 years ago, and he was been bad for the Raiders. There was
I thought
the good one was Notre Dame guy. What was his name?
That went to McClatchy or something like that.
Yeah. Was that? I think that was last year.
2 years ago. The tackles last year were like Jawan, Cody Ford, Greg Little.
But then did that guy on the Denver offensive line go Bowles or whatever his name is? I think he went that
2 years ago. Yeah, that was the Cam Robinson year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're out there, and but hey, circling back to Trent Williams, maybe that is a guy that you have to go out and get a free agent.
And you were talking about the trainers in Washington. They're notoriously bad. Geis has had multiple surgeries. Alex Smith's had to get like 3 or 4 surgeries. I feel like they're incompetent, honestly.
Yeah, I mean. Have you ever seen a player hold out because of training staff? Have you ever seen that before?
Tampa, when they had the MRSA outbreak, maybe. But
does Tom Brady with his doctor count? Even though that wasn't really a holdout.
It's just like you don't see a lot of those issues come up. And,
it's obviously a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
Apparently, AB is interested in the Panthers, Texans, Patriots, and maybe the Ravens.
I would not like to see him in the Texans.
No,
that's for sure.
Him and DeAndre Hopkins, no.
But do you think that's a stable enough locker room for him? I mean, the thing I don't know. Like, I guess I don't know if he need like DeAndre Hopkins gonna hold him down and be that friend to him and
JJ Watt,
try to keep him in check. Because who on the Raiders is gonna be able to keep AB in check?
Nah,
Nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, watching Hard Knocks. Some of you guys watched it. But, I mean, Derek Carr is just such a boring.
Goober.
And we had such personalities the last couple of years, like Baker Mayfield, Jameis Winston, and even Jared Goff, even though he was goofy as hell when he was on it. But I don't know. It's just it was just a weird environment. It was kind of a disappointing Hard Knocks to me.
What's it called is definitely much better. All or Nothing is.
Yeah, fantastic. I watched it with the Panthers. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd like to watch it on that because I know when the Cardinals were on it, they were pretty good. But I'd like to see like
that was the best series by far. Yeah.
It was cool because in that one you had all of or I'm talking about in the Panthers one, like Cam Newton was like really funny how he's like picking out his like feathered fedora outfits, and you also had the Eric Reed come in and just see like how all that went on inside the
new owner as well. So
and it was funny because they were on a call. Cam Newton and Luke Kuechly called Josh Norman. Yeah, and then they were sitting there having a conversation. He's like, "Hey man," Cam's like, "Hey, if I see number 24 when I rolling out, I ain't juking." It's so funny.
I like Cam a lot.
I like the all or nothing with the Cardinals.
I haven't seen that one.
Because Bruce Arians is like
does not let back at
very
all.
Vulgar.
Yeah, I hear he's super vulgar.
Very vulgar. And I'm surprised he's not back in the league.
He is.
He's the coach of the Bucks.
Jesus.
That's how relevant the Bucks are. So.
I'm not saying that he's the only reason why I have any hope in the Bucks, because Bucks have a good coaching staff right now. Because they have Bruce Arians as the head coach, and they have Bowles as the defense coordinator, and Byron Leftwich as the offense coordinator.
Wow.
And Byron Leftwich is supposed to be like a head coach one day.
People love him as offense coordinator. Yeah. Didn't he get fired from Arizona though?
Well, I mean, I think he got let go of the staff.
Yeah, I guess
because the new guy came in there. Then I don't know where Byron Leftwich was last year. I had to think he's somewhere around the league, but
I thought he was with Arizona last year.
Yeah, he was.
Was he?
Yeah,
okay.
He was their offense coordinator.
Yeah,
because they had Mike McCoy for a few games, then fired him and brought him up from QB coach.
Yeah, then when you're bringing in Cliff Kingsbury, you're gonna have to kind of probably let go.
Move.
They're gonna have to. Yeah, because
I'm excited to see it though.
They went with that. They went with the handsome youth movement. Like, what's going on? I was listening to what's that show? Barstool Sports, and they're like, God. They have like the Rooney Rule where they have to interview like minorities. They're like, we need to make a curmudgeon rule where you have to interview like one just completely disgusting, like the Browns Browns offensive line coach kind of guy.
Bob Wiley.
Yeah, like interview like a Charlie Weiss or something like that for the job.
That's true. Everyone's going with that like California 5 o'clock shadow.
They say anyone that's had a cup of coffee with McVay is going to get a head coaching job. So.
That's true.
Dude, that was cool on this Hard Knocks though, was seeing like they did a throwback of when it was like 10 years ago when John Gruden was on the head coach of the Bucks. Then like literally Sean McVay was in there as like a kind of like an intern.
Yeah.
And he's just like, John Gruden's just like, so what do you want to be one day? Do you actually want to? You got to be about this. And then just like seeing like the guy was in a Super Bowl less than 10 years later. Yeah. It's just wild to seeing this this wide-eyed intern just clean shaven, just so young, like where he was gonna wind up.
It's the Jags have always had good coaches on their coaching staff. Dom Capers, like, what do you think he adds to the coaching staff?
Well, I didn't think much at first, but all of a sudden we've kind of flipped our defense around a little bit. I mean, I've been seeing like not often have I seen our defensive ends like in a 2-point stance at the end of the line. All of a sudden, like first game I see that, and we haven't seen Yannick Ngakoue doing much because he hasn't been out there playing. But I'd be interested to see like what he looks like in the system. And like one thing that I wonder this year is obviously we couldn't come to a contract agreement with Yannick Ngakoue, but I almost think like maybe like in the second half of the season, Josh Allen might be getting more snaps than Yannick Ngakoue, just because.
Honestly, dude, I've been getting raked over the coals for saying that, dude. I really have.
Yannick is a top 10 defensive end. Guys.
No, but the thing is though, in run support, Josh Allen is just built so much better for it.
Yeah, and he gets down the line and actually pursues the carrier, where Yannick Ngakoue kind of gives up sometimes.
Like, I mean, he's just genetically built better than Yannick Ngakoue right now. Then, the way, obviously, I think there were probably a lot of overreactions to the Dolphins game that he had, but, I mean, he looked like a Khalil Mack out there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he has a Khalil Mack potential, and if he's... And I think we can all agree that Khalil Mack is better than Yannick Ngakoue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I mean, obviously,
why not have both though? You have your Von Miller and Bradley Chubb for the next 5 years to 10 years.
I mean, I'd like to have it, but they couldn't come to an agreement. I don't know what it's gonna, because right now, I mean,
didn't they only offer him 3 years? Is that what I saw? I think it was.
Was it 3 years? But it was 50 guaranteed. It was like 3 years. Like, was it 70 with 50 guaranteed? Yeah. I don't know the exact numbers.
I thought it was fair for both sides. Honestly.
That's what I'm saying.
Which I never understand, like why players are all wanting these long-term deals, like because like all these players never want to play on the franchise tag.
Of the NBA.
Yeah, like all these players are not wanting to play on their franchise tag. It's like, dude, you got all this guaranteed money, and it's like just a year, and you can still, like Al Robinson. I thought his contract was awesome with the Bears because he signed like a 3-year deal. He signed like a 3-year deal when he was like 23 years old. Yeah. Like all of a sudden he's going to be able to get another contract. He's 26 years old.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
I tweeted this the other day. Allen Robinson is going into is it his 5th NFL season or his 6th?
He's going into 6th.
And he is 24 years old. Calvin Ridley is going into his 2nd year and is like 6 months younger than Allen Robinson. So
Allen Robinson's always super
it's
young.
crazy, man. I can't believe we let him go.
Yeah, it sucks. But he wanted the
Yeah,
league.
I was
Yeah,
just gonna say.
I definitely give you
yeah,
that.
he
Franchise tag him.
He didn't want to be here.
Franchise tag
You
him.
don't want someone that doesn't want to be here.
It's football.
It's not though. I mean, you look at especially nowadays with like guys like Le'Veon Bell who are just like,
You think
okay, I'm
Allen
not gonna
Robinson
play.
would act like that though?
Yeah, I mean, anyone who was like, no, I want to get out of here. Like, how often does that happen?
And like you don't want like with him like you don't want just a guy that's like
Right,
you know
exactly.
like that's acting like he's better because even like because I remember even the Green Bay game like the last play we do that little bubble screen and then like he like wasn't even like trying on his block.
I mean,
like
it's
that was a
pretty
big
dumb play.
it was a dumb play but it did not even look like he gave it.
Yeah.
Gave a
And
crap that
how many
play.
times was he pass interference that game? 10 times. That was the most egregious, horrible reffing I've seen in a long time. They literally came back and said we missed like 5 pass interferences on Allen Robinson. Yeah, it was bad.
But I don't know. He went off the other day. I think he had over 100 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, I always thought that he was a great player, but I wasn't going to be all bent out of shape about it just because I knew he didn't really want to be here. But, like right now, like when we look at what we need to re-sign, though, like I think I'll be interested to see what Jalen Ramsey gets because I think he's going to be out there like commanding like quarterback money, which I get to see like because you see all these guys that you think are outrageous. Like I forget who, but somebody recently was like, I want to get paid as much as like a quarterback.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be really expensive. But when you look at who we're gonna re-sign, like if you got to choose between, like hypothetically speaking, you got to choose between Yannick Ngakoue and Jalen Ramsey. Like I see probably Jalen Ramsey as a better cornerback than Yannick as a
Absolutely.
defensive.
And I
end.
think that's what kind of softens this whole thing with Ngakoue is that very thing because we all want Ngakoue back, but we all would rather have Jalen Ramsey.
Why
Like,
can
that's the bottom
we
line.
have all of it though? I don't understand that.
Because that's like your cake and eating it too.
It seems like
obviously
every other team seems to be able to do that besides us.
not really. I mean, you see teams lose people to cap casualties all the time.
Well,
I mean, the thing is, one thing you see we do a lot is we're signing a bunch of free agents from other teams. Like we're giving all these other like Deshaun Gibsons and like
that's because
Barry
we're
Church
drafting
money.
though.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah,
let
got it.
Deshaun Gibson walk at $6 million. Like he could have definitely helped our defense this year because he was getting $6 million. We let him walk.
That's top 5 safety money though.
But I also don't mind because the players that you want to sign the guys at premier positions. Like
Yeah.
you want to be able to draft and replace safeties.
You reward your
Right.
own. You're supposed to.
Yeah, and you want to. I mean, even like when Telvin Smith comes back, he's not going to be playing on the Jaguars anymore just
I'm
because.
completely happy with him retiring and taking that money.
But I think he's going to want to come back eventually, and then the Jaguars are going to have to do something about him because like we have Miles under a good amount of money at middle linebacker. Then you just drafted Quincy Williams with a 3rd round draft pick, and you don't need to be investing all that money on linebackers. So
Yeah.
we're gonna with Darius right now. He's due $20 million next year. So
He's gone.
I mean, you gotta see if you can restructure his contract somehow.
I think it's gonna be him gone and then Calais restructures. And
Yeah.
I keep seeing people say AJ's gone. I really hope he's not because he's fantastic. But I could see Boye being gone.
But there is all
unfortunately.
kinds of players being cut. I mean, you gotta think.
Marquise Lee can come off the
Yeah,
contract
Marquise
next
Lee
year.
definitely can. Like one of our offensive linemen between Brandon Leonard and Andrew Norwell.
Yeah.
Andrew Norwell will probably be the one that gets cut out of
You
those
think
guys.
so?
But I mean, I think
I can see
I think if
Leonard.
he
He
had
might
to,
stay healthy.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. He doesn't. I mean, we'll see with because I think last year when on the field, Brandon Leonard was better, but yeah, I mean the guy, and not only does he get injured every year, he has like an illness every year. Like he'll be out with the flu, and I'm like who does this?
We get some emergency.
Like it's all these like he'll miss like random October games. He has a flu. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yes. Well, for our podcast, I think we're gonna cut it there. We mixed it on a little bit with.
Yeah, man, I'm down.
UCF
Down.
Jags
Michigan
channel.
won. Dang it.
UCF Jags channel, UCF Jaguars channel. You can go over to them. We love him. He's awesome. We're pumped that he's here. But we're gonna wrap up our podcast here. Thank you for listening. You can follow us on Twitter at Another Jags Pod, and you can follow UCF Jag on Twitter at
UCF_Jag.
There you go. Make sure you follow both of us in there. And thank you for listening. And as always, go Jags.
All right, cool. So I'll take some questions in the comment section right now.
Yeah.
If you guys want to fire off some questions, definitely be sure to do so.
Jason, do you want to press break on this or no?
You can leave it on.
Dang, I can't believe Michigan won. That sucks.
Who are they playing?
They were playing Army, won by 3
They were
Army.
points.
tied 14-14
Oh,
in the
man.
third
They
quarter.
won it
You
in
got
overtime.
to go for the service.
Oh, yeah.
Seven.
I know.
even though UCF has Navy in their division. So
That's a good. I actually like the AAC a lot. I think that's a
Yeah.
fun little division.
yeah, it's cool. Hopefully UCF can get moved up soon.
Big 12 maybe.
A
can
lot of
see
people
it.
are like one person that makes a lot of ACC YouTube videos thinks that they might go to the ACC. So
I don't think that they have. Florida State was lucky to get in there because of their academics. ACC likes their academics. I don't even know how they got in, but maybe.
but it's looking like I mean the most. It looks like on paper. I mean the Big 12 was down to 8 teams. So you would think that would be it, but
They
at the
wanna
same
get
time,
to
I
that
hear
Florida market too.
and I also hear they're kind of greedy when it comes to like a lot of money going to Oklahoma and Texas.
Texas big time for sure. That's why Texas A&M left, Colorado. That's crazy, man.
Maybe they can replace Florida State in the
They
ACC.
probably are. They by far the better program right now. Florida State's
We like
bad.
to troll on FSU around here because
Yeah.
Mike's a huge fan.
Oh, yeah?
I'm a Jaguar fan. It is NFL season already.
What's it called? So Troy says if a team offered a trade for Yannick Ngakoue, what would you take?
The first. And a player.
Yeah, when
Well, obviously, you
I
want
would
that.
I would take a first for him.
Yeah, first and a player.
What do we get for Dante Fowler though?
Well,
third
well,
rounder?
One of those.
Yeah, but
one of those players is actually good though.
No, I know, but like,
got
you
third
gotta
and
be
a fifth.
real though. Are you gonna get a first for a guy?
Frank Clark. Just
Frank Clark got
a first and a second.
And he had to get a new contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone tore that deal up like it was terrible.
No, I mean because you traded. They're trading the picks part.
I mean, Yannick Ngakoue is top 5 in pressures since 2016.
Yeah.
And
Give Yannick-
and
give
all
Yannick
teams,
whatever he
all
wants.
teams, there's a shortage of good pass rush and defensive ends in the NFL.
Yeah. It makes
Yeah.
no sense to let him leave.
But you can't trade. I mean, you can trade.
He's
a first
already
round
third
pick.
all time in Jaguars history in sacks.
I mean, Clowney got what? Actually, Clowney
He
didn't
got
really
paid
get traded for enough. Clowney didn't get traded for a lot, did he?
No.
Third and 2 players.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the third. In the.
But the
Clowney-
reason that's
Clowney's-
because they waited till after the draft and he was on a franchise tag.
But I think Clowney's gonna kill it in the 4-3 defense.
Yeah.
Like I think that's what he's built for.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's out of the AFC for sure.
Someone says, "What about a first and a second?" Yeah, I'd do that.
Absolutely. I love
Yeah.
Yannick, but I would, yeah. If we're not going to resign him, if that's
It's only because of Josh Allen. Like if we didn't have Josh Allen, we'd be like, no. He
and
needs
that's
to resign.
if he's not going to
But
resign.
we see Josh Allen. Literally, we see Josh Allen is so good. We see him play one game with the Dolphins, and we're like, okay, this dude is gonna be like our best dude we've ever had.
Dude, that was so exciting.
He's like so good.
every play he was there. It was
Yeah.
incredible.
Slice YT says, what do you guys have for the Jags record predictions? I did this the other day on the Gin Jag podcast. I did it game by game, and I had us at 9-7.
What did you think of Phil Hyman's? His was pretty bad, I thought.
What was
What do
it?
you say?
He's 8-8 with us losing to the Raiders, so like splitting with the Colts, Titans, and Texans.
I mean, this West Coast thing. I mean, it's a real. I feel like it might be a real issue with us.
The Raiders, I couldn't see us losing to the Raiders.
I'm a little more optimistic than y'all.
10-6 or 9-7.
I'm gonna have us around 10 or 11 wins. I really do.
Yeah, I'm hoping, man.
Yeah.
It was such. 2017 was such a magical year when we were good.
But I
And
know
there's a,
we were just
won
healthy.
13, we could have won 13 games. We should have won more games that season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like our team is good.
Should have beaten the Jets. Should have beaten the Niners and
Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Yeah, but we also shouldn't have beat the
Chargers.
Chargers.
I know. Blake was trying to give that game away.
so it kind of goes. both
Having
ways.
Foles makes such a difference. How many games did we lose by 7 points last year? Probably 5 or 6 within a touchdown.
Yeah, I think we had like 6 games.
I think Foles.
Yeah.
I'm excited for him.
Yeah, I am too, and it's just we haven't seen another quarterback since
It's 10 years.
2014. Like, and just like anyone that, except when he's sprinkling Chad Henne and Blake and Cody Kessler, all we've had is since 2014 is Blake Bortles. So
And
it's
then,
gonna be
even
cool.
then, it was still like every pass you like kind of covered your eyes, hoping it would go okay. We haven't had like a consistent passer since Garrard.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
what's called Duckweed says Foles and Westbrook are a good combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were. I mean, I'm thinking with the lack of a tight end that Westbrook is going to become his like go-to slot type of receiver.
And there's a reason Dede finished 4th for the Heisman. He's legit.
And that dude knows how to take a hit, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he takes a beating.
He's not big by any means. He
Yeah.
took that like a champ.
Yeah, I mean, I've stood right next to him. We're like the same, like we're like the same size, except he's a little bit thicker than me because he probably works out more than me. But you know,
An NFL player works out more than.
believe it or not, yeah, more than an accountant. So, his laser says, I got no Chiefs friends. So they're like, some of these people, some
Keep
of
it
the
that
grammar
way.
is just
I don't want
bad.
any Chiefs fans.
Sometimes I try to read comments and I don't understand the grammar. The gambling hippie says Foles has a great deep ball. Honestly, put a bet on Foles as MVP just as a flyer bet. What are the odds on that?
The
Go
NBA
look, my bookie.
I don't mean to derail from that, but do you know what the odds were for the Alabama?
Good game.
No, who they playing today?
I'm not sure.
Someone like whoever Alabama's playing
Is
today.
it like Sanford or something?
No, it's not. It's not a team that's like even really like. It's a team you like that has won some games in the past. And dude, if you bet $100 for Alabama to lose straight up, you win $250,000 if they lose today. I gotta
They're
see.
playing New Mexico State.
New Mexico State. That's not even like a Division II school though. Like what are the chances that they just come out and like win?
Very low. Imagine. Can you really imagine like waking up and just hearing
That'd be the
that
biggest upset
Alabama
of
lost to New Mexico State? Like it's just not something you can mentally process.
What's crazy is that because LSU lost to Troy last year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of makes sense, but Alabama, yeah, there's no chance.
Florida should have lost to Louisiana Lafayette like
Florida State
2 or
lost
3
to
years
Stanford
ago.
last year.
Yeah.
Although just 2 years ago, Clemson lost to Syracuse out of nowhere.
That's what I'm saying.
So, I mean,
was that the year that Syracuse was beating everybody though?
And that's one thing that's like so hard is like even a lot of people when you look at like UCF schedule they go undefeated and it's like oh well who they play. I mean they do have some matchups that have been good, like they play Stanford next week, but the thing it's so hard to go out and actually win every game and like not have like a down game.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I mean even last year LSU lost to Troy like you said.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier 2 years ago Clemson lost to Syracuse where if they do that matchup 10 times they're going to win 9 out of them, but it's sometimes you just have to play on your game and not play too down to yourselves.
Because the other team is trying to win too. It's not like it's a given. Like you have to go out there and execute. And
Foles is plus 9,000 to win MVP. Let's see what we get if we bet $100 on that one.
you get $9,000.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
I'm not very good at math.
Yeah.
I don't do math.
No, that's what the spread. That's what the. That's what they do.
Bob K says, "Hey UCF Jag, why do you do this? I don't know what you're talking about."
He's asking why do you make terrible videos with terrible other people on your shows? He's asking.
Is that do you guys think I'm tanking the channel right now? Tanking for Tua. Troy says, Grizzlies fan here from Montana.
Montana Grizzlies? Wow.
Wait,
Wow.
Memphis Grizzlies or Montana Grizzlies?
We're going to go with that one.
Kenny says concerns about left tackle right now. Yeah, I mean,
Club.
anytime I feel like I'm always concerned about the offensive line because
Yeah.
I mean you got to think it's really hard to find great offensive linemen just because if you have 5 like this week we have 32 teams playing. Each team has 5 starting offensive linemen. If you do the math, that's 180 starting offensive linemen this weekend. So it's like once you get into like your depth, I mean the quality of play just drops off a lot, and even nowadays offensive linemen are getting worse and worse just because they're from offense. They're from all these spread offenses in college.
Yeah, it's one of the only positions in the league where you want someone that has experience versus like an up and coming like young guy. Like it takes offensive linemen nowadays like 2 or 3 years to get their footing in the NFL. It's really rare for a guy to come in and just dominate right off the rip.
Depends on the player.
But I'm saying from any other position, like running back, receiver, quarterback. You want like a young guy who's fast and But in offensive line, I want a Richie Incognito that has a lot of character issues. But offensive line, like you said, your depth, you're getting like the 200th best offensive lineman in the league is now your backup left tackle, and that's not gonna.
And Warhop is our offensive line coach, so not a great combination.
So what happened to Cam Robinson? Did he just have a setback, or they just want to
It was
put him?
it was his other knee, apparently, is what I saw.
it was in pass protection. I guess he was taking a step back, and his knee gave out.
Jeez, that's not good.
It was his other knee.
That's not good.
No, not what you want to see.
I don't know, because I was about to say I didn't know if they were like, oh, he's not going to be a full go, so they're just going to make him inactive since he's not really going to do much. But that's concerned. But luckily we're healthy for the most part. It's only really Cam Robinson and Josh Oliver. I mean, it's surprising with Josh Oliver. I would have loved to see what he can do out there
Yeah.
in the passing game.
What about Jake Ryan on that?
I know,
Is he
I
gonna
don't
play
know.
at all this year?
He got put on the IR.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So is that week 8?
6,
back?
I think. Or is it 8? I don't know.
I think it's 8 weeks.
Yeah.
What do you feel? You asked this the other day. Juwan Taylor at left tackle. Why not give him a shot?
I think he's just been because he's a starting right tackle.
Yeah, but still, why not? Will Richardson play right tackle a lot. Don't you think that Juwan Taylor's the more talented player? Maybe.
I would think so.
I mean, I would think so, but I'd rather just keep him at the right side since that's what he's used to. He's
Yeah.
starting over. It's not like we're in a situation where someone's starting in front of him. We're trying to get the 5 best guys out there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's played. Did he play any of the left tackle at Florida?
I think like his first year, he
Two
played
or 3 games
Yeah,
he played.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I never played offensive line, but I know like a lot of people say it's just when you switch sides, it's so much different just with your drop steps and.
Yeah.
I saw, I'm sure you guys saw this too. Cam Robinson is left-handed. Will Richardson was talking about the difference. His first punch being a righty, playing on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it's a lot different and weird. So.
Yeah, so we'll see with that spot, man. But
Yep. So what do you think? Under or over 7 pressures for Will
Richardson?
Yeah.
Probably over.
Ooh.
I'll go
a lot.
under. I've got
That's a
faith.
lot of
I've got
pressures.
faith.
If you're a D coordinator, aren't you just blitzing the crap out of him?
I would be. I'd be disguising all kinds of
Yeah,
crap.
I'd be
And
stunning.
Steve Spagnuolo loves to bring the heat too.
I'd be
so.
stunning my nose tackle to the outside of him because it's like, why not?
You know, we signed Chase Litton from the Chiefs to be on our practice
Yeah.
squad. Like a lot of people, like Andy Reid said in a press conference, like, you know, what's he gonna do? Like, be able to predict one of our 200 plays. But I'm sitting here thinking, like,
Chris Conley.
but I think it's more for like the defensive side. Like if he gets up to the line of scrimmage, like what are some different things you have to indicate
Yeah.
on the defense? Because I think it's more of a help for the defense to know, or like the offense to know, like what when you're up on the defense, what to expect.
Yeah.
Tendencies is a huge. I think Chris Conley. I think he's going to be a huge factor in that. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. He played with him, what, 4 years?
Yeah,
He's gotta
he
know
played
this.
out his rookie
Yeah,
contract.
he's got to know something for. Yeah.
But then they stole all of our.
Henny, that's a different offense though. He never played under Dave Fleur.
Didn't Carlos Hyde? I thought Carlos Hyde went to the Chiefs.
He got traded to the Texans.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe they got all they needed out of Carlos Hyde.
But different. They never played under Flip.
That's true.
Charlie wants to know how we feel about Jeff Swain. I mean, I think he's just an average tight end. I mean, I'm not.
If that.
He catches the ball when it comes his way.
Yeah.
His PFF grades for whoever feels about whatever PFF were worse than James O'Shaughnessy's.
His catch rate was good though. He was targeted. We looked it up. With all people that were targeted more than 30 times, he had the highest catch rate.
Yeah, well, the same thing was said about Safarian Jenkins last year,
I don't remember
and he
hearing
did
that.
nothing. Yeah, he was great as far as catch and fall guy. And for the Jets,
I thought
he torched the Jags
He
2
always
years
had
ago.
a tendency for drops though.
How about to play? Did he have tendency to play? He didn't even play for
Now
us.
he's on to the NFL
Yeah.
for a reason right now. So.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're probably going to head out pretty soon. We've got 39 people watching. I left another Jags podcast. I left their channel link down below. They're live on YouTube all the time, so definitely go over there. Hit the subscribe on them so you can get kind of random weekly, usually weeknights, right?
That's
when I
random.
can see y'all.
It's
on it.
random. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess when you're doing shows with multiple people,
Yeah,
with
oh, yeah.
all busy schedules, all working full-time jobs,
Yeah.
it's always hard to coordinate. That's why it's a little easier when you're kind of a solo guy. You can just hop on there, record, and make a video. But yeah, man, go subscribe them up. I mean, I know there's not a whole lot of like Jaguar creators on YouTube, so definitely hit them up and check out another Jags pod. But yeah, man, I appreciate you guys for joining me.
Dude, we appreciate you being here, and welcome to Jacksonville. And anytime you're here, you're welcome to be here. We even got a place for you to stay if you need a place to stay.
Hell yeah.
Extra bedroom.
Sounds good to me.
I know I sound desperate right
Can
now.
I live here?
How does UCF play today, by the way?
They play FAU tonight.
Ooh, oh, that's right. I saw that
in
burning
Boca
your
Raton.
mascot.
Yeah, they
do
burned
that.
our mascot.
Wow. That's
Very disrespectful. But,
Nice
we're
run.
about to burn them tonight. They got whooped last week by Ohio State.
How did what's his name look? Winbush.
He didn't look very good, but we got a really good like true freshman prospect out of the same school that Mackenzie Milton went to.
I heard that,
and
yeah.
he was in there and he was looking like a baller. Like, and I'm really excited about him. Like this game, they played both of them that game, and they're gonna probably be doing the same thing tonight.
I like that.
But we play Stanford next week, so
Hey,
we
they're
gotta
coming to
figure
you guys,
something
right?
out. Yeah, they're coming to
That's
UCF.
awesome. You
So
going to the game?
I will be there.
That's awesome.
Definitely will be there.
Yeah.
And the next day, we go to Houston, so I'll be on the channel live streaming that one.
Nice.
But I'll get some shots before we leave. Shout out to Bob K for coming in here. Blake Bortles is in here. We got a celebrity. Charlie Wilson, Troy Slaughter, Darlene Mack, Antonio Rivera, the Gambling Hippie. It's a nice name.
I like that.
Tyrone Dixon, Laser Predator. But hey, guys, thank you guys so much for coming in. Go Jags.
Trying to put 100 on Nick Foles for MVP.